All right, so really to kind of dive into this world, I mean, it feels like it's taken over our lives, right? Social media, that whole world of likes and shares and
endless scrolling.
yeah, endless scrolling, exactly. So you sent us a ton of research on this.
Yeah.
So let's really unpack this.
Let's do it.
What's going on beneath those like perfectly filtered selfies?
Well, it's so interesting because like social media, it started out as this way to just connect with people, right? Friends and family. And it's morphed into this thing that's so much bigger.
Right.
And, it's influencing how we communicate, how we date, even how we think about ourselves.
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about it. Years ago, you wanted to catch up with a friend.
Right.
Pick up the phone or like write a letter.
Oh, my gosh.
Now it's like boom, boom, boom text or DM.
Exactly. And, that has researchers kind of worried because we've gotten so used to communicating in these bite-sized chunks.
Right.
And emojis are kind of doing the heavy lifting there.
Yeah.
And some people are saying that maybe our ability to actually have nuanced, like face-to-face conversations,
it's going away.
It's taking a hit.
Yeah.
And, some studies even suggest that like our vocabulary is shrinking.
Really?
Especially for younger generations.
Wow.
Who have grown up with social media as their primary mode of communication.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So it's like we're trading eloquence for efficiency, basically.
Exactly.
But then also there's this whole like miscommunication thing.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever like sent a text and been like, oh, wait.
All the time.
That was totally misinterpreted because it's just like missing
tone and context.
Yeah.
All those things.
You just can't get it through text sometimes.
You miss those cues like facial expressions, voice inflection.
Totally.
That help us understand the true meaning behind the message.
Absolutely.
So
it's no wonder then that everyone's like overthinking every text message and every email.
Oh, yeah. And then there's cancel culture.
Oh, gosh. Don't even get me started.
One wrong move online and your reputation could be toast.
Yeah. Like, what was it? There was that one.
Even if it's a joke taken out of context?
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can't even joke anymore.
And it's like the court of public opinion has gone digital, and the verdict is often swift and unforgiving.
That's a really good way to put it. I like that.
Cancel culture is a complex phenomenon.
Yeah.
Obviously, holding people accountable is important.
Right.
But social media just amplifies the outrage.
Yeah, it's like a mob mentality almost.
And creates an environment where there's very little room for nuance.
For sure.
Or forgiveness.
I mean, so let's talk about something a little bit more positive, like relationships.
Okay.
Social media can be great to reconnect with old friends.
Oh, yeah.
Find people that share your same passions.
Right.
It's like this global network right at your fingertips.
Exactly. And think about how important that was during the pandemic.
Oh, totally.
When people felt so isolated.
Yeah.
And alone, and those online connections became so vital for people.
Sure.
Virtual hangouts, online communities.
Right.
That help maintain a sense of belonging.
Absolutely.
When face-to-face interaction was limited.
For sure. But then there's this whole other side of it where it's like, oh, everyone else's life is better.
Right.
More exciting, more glamorous, more everything.
Yeah. And all those perfectly curated Instagram feeds to make you feel like your own life is
so boring.
Just dull in comparison.
Yeah.
This culture of comparison is really a major downside.
For sure.
We see these carefully crafted versions of people's lives.
Right.
And it's like, I'm not measuring it. It's like comparing your blooper reel
that's good.
to everyone else's highlight reel.
Yeah, like nobody's posting their like worst moments. It's always the best of the best.
Exactly.
And then all those curated photos, it breeds jealousy too.
Oh, totally.
In relationships.
Yeah, like if you like someone else's photo.
Oh my God.
World War III.
Yeah. So, but why do you like that person's photo?
Right. Social media can definitely amplify those insecurities.
Right.
And create that tension.
Yeah.
It's like having a constant stream of potential threats.
Yeah.
Or comparisons right there in your pocket.
Right.
All the time.
But let's not forget that social media can be a force for good too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like think about the Me Too movement
Yeah.
or like all those climate strikes.
It's given a voice to people who may not have been heard otherwise.
Right.
It's helped to spark important conversations.
Absolutely.
Mobilize people.
Yeah.
Around social causes.
Right.
A great example is Malala Yousafzai.
Oh, yeah.
She's used Twitter to advocate for girls' education globally.
That's amazing.
Reaching millions with her message.
Yeah, and even think about like businesses.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Like my friend, she has this small business.
Yeah.
And it just like boomed thanks to Instagram. She was like selling handmade jewelry at these like little markets.
Yeah.
And now she's shipping stuff worldwide.
Amazing. Social media has opened so many doors for small businesses and entrepreneurs.
Totally.
Giving them a platform to connect directly with customers and build a global audience.
It's a game changer.
Huge game changer.
Okay, so let's talk about something that I feel like is often whispered about, but not really like talked about head on.
Okay.
Mental health.
Okay.
Social media can be a lifeline
Yes.
for people that are struggling with mental health challenges.
Yeah, it gives them access to support groups
Right.
and resources.
Yeah.
It's created a space for people to share their experiences,
Right.
connect with others who understand,
Right.
and reduce the stigma around mental health.
Totally. And for people who might not have access to traditional therapy, like
Yeah.
online communities can offer that support that they
Right.
need.
Absolutely.
But, and this is a big, but
Yes.
there's a darker side.
There is
to this.
totally.
Like cyberbullying, body shaming, the constant pressure to present a perfect online persona.
Right.
All of that can just be so
It
detrimental.
can take a toll.
Yeah, and we talked about how social media can fuel those feelings of inadequacy.
Yeah.
But, it's important to reiterate that this can have a significant impact on mental health.
Absolutely.
I mean, one study found that teenagers who spend 5 or more hours a day on social media are significantly more likely to report feeling depressed.
Wow.
And that's not just teenagers, it's
Oh.
adults too.
Yeah.
It's just the constant information overload
Yeah.
and, keeping up with everyone else's curated life. It can be,
Overwhelming.
yeah.
Totally.
I remember this one time when I was,
It's so easy to compare our behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel.
oh yeah,
That's why it's crucial to be mindful of how much time we're spending on these platforms.
right.
And cultivating healthy habits.
Totally. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you do this, but I try to curate my feed
Absolutely.
and unfollow those accounts that just make me feel bad.
Yeah. Get rid of the negativity.
Yeah, and look for ones that inspire me.
Find the ones that bring you joy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's important to remind people that it's okay to take a break
Absolutely.
from social media.
It's self-care.
Yeah, it's not a sign of weakness.
Not at all.
Like just turning off notifications for a couple hours.
Right. Even small changes can have a big impact on your mental well-being.
Totally. Okay, so before we jump into part 2,
Okay.
let's look ahead a little bit. What's on the horizon for social media?
I mean, the metaverse is certainly a hot topic.
The metaverse. What is that? Is that some sci-fi movie or something?
It might feel futuristic, but it's closer than you think.
Okay.
I mean, imagine attending a virtual concert,
Oh, okay.
trying on clothes in a digital dressing room,
Interesting.
attending a virtual wedding.
Wow.
I mean, it offers a whole new level of immersive experience.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It also raises questions about how this is going to impact our relationship
Yeah, for sure.
and our sense of reality.
What is real anymore?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Okay, well, and then there's the whole issue of privacy.
Oh, yeah.
Every click, every search.
It's being tracked.
Yeah, remember that whole Cambridge Analytica scandal?
Oh, yeah.
That was scary.
That was a chilling reminder of how our data can be misused.
Yeah, for sure.
So data privacy is one of the biggest challenges facing social media companies today.
Right.
There's this growing demand for greater transparency and control
Makes sense.
over how our information is collected and used.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of the wider world, social media isn't a one-size-fits-all experience.
It's not, no.
Right? It's different in different parts of the globe.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like in China, WeChat is this digital Swiss Army knife.
Okay.
It's used for everything.
Wow.
Messaging, payments, ordering food.
That's great.
But it's heavily monitored and censored by the government.
Oh, wow.
In Iran, activists use Instagram
Oh, wow.
to share their stories and organize protests,
Really?
despite government attempts to restrict access.
Wow, that's amazing.
And in India, farmers use Twitter to mobilize and bring attention to their cause.
That's awesome.
So social media can be a powerful tool for social change,
Absolutely.
but it can also be used to spread misinformation and propaganda.
That's true. We've all seen how quickly false information can spread.
Way too quickly.
Especially online.
Yeah.
And it can have devastating consequences.
Remember those rumors linking 5G to COVID?
Oh my God. Yeah, people were destroying cell towers.
It's a stark reminder that we all have a responsibility to be critical consumers of information.
Yeah.
Verify before we share anything online.
Right.
Think before you share.
Yeah, think before you share. That should be the motto of the internet.
Exactly. We need to be more discerning and thoughtful in our online interactions.
Yeah.
Recognizing that social media can be this powerful tool for connection, but also a potential source of harm.
Well, that's a lot to digest.
It is a lot.
It feels like social media is this constantly evolving landscape.
It is.
With new opportunities and challenges all the time.
All the time, yeah.
So
it's dynamic.
It is.
And it's important to stay informed
Okay.
and adapt our approach as needed.
Yeah.
But the good news is
Okay.
we have more control than we might realize.
That is a great point to end on.
Yeah.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we're just getting started.
That's right.
In part 2, we'll explore some practical tips for navigating the world of social media wisely and making sure it enhances our lives rather than detracts from them.
I can't wait.
Yeah, me too.
I love giving practical tips.
Yeah, for sure. So stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll equip you with the tools you need to thrive in this digital age.
That's going to be good.
Yes, it is. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of social media.
So, we've explored the impact of social media on like everything.
Feels like everything.
Communication, relationships, mental health.
Yeah.
And, it's clear it's a powerful force shaping our lives.
It really is. And so now I think it's time to get a little bit more practical. Like,
Right.
how can we actually navigate this digital landscape in a way that's healthy and productive and maybe even enjoyable?
Yeah, I think it starts with recognizing that we have more control over our social media experience
Okay.
than we might think.
So it's not just about like getting swept away by the endless scroll.
Right.
We can actually take charge.
Exactly. We can be intentional about how we use these platforms,
Okay.
make choices that align with our values and goals.
I like that.
And one of the simplest, quote, most effective strategies
Okay.
is curating your feed.
Curating. Like, you mean like an art exhibit or something?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
Choosing who and what you allow into your digital space.
Okay.
Remember those accounts we talked about?
Yeah.
That leave you feeling drained or envious or just bad about yourself.
Oh, yeah, totally. I'm like addicted to those accounts.
It's like inviting a negative energy vampire into your home.
Okay.
You have the power to unfollow them.
Okay, so just get rid of them.
Get rid of them. Seek out accounts that inspire you,
Okay, find the positive stuff.
educate you, bring a smile to your face.
Okay, I like that. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
instead of looking at it as this chaotic jumble, it's more like this curated collection.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. What else can we do?
Setting boundaries is crucial.
Okay,
Just like you wouldn't let someone barge into your house
right.
unannounced at any hour.
Yeah.
You don't have to let social media have constant access to your attention.
Yeah. It's so easy to get sucked into that scroll hole.
I know.
You just like look up and like hours have gone by.
The platforms are designed to keep you hooked.
Really?
They're constantly feeding you those little dopamine hits with every notification,
Oh, yeah.
every comment.
I know, it's true.
But you can break free from that cycle
Okay, good.
by setting boundaries.
Okay, so how do you actually do that, though?
It could be as simple as having phone-free meals,
Oh, okay.
creating a no-scroll zone in your home,
Okay.
setting aside specific times for checking social media.
Oh, okay. So instead of it like constantly like,
Interrupting you?
yeah, interrupting my day. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I tried the no phones at dinner rule with my family and it was amazing. We actually had like conversations.
That's great. It's about reclaiming your time and attention,
For sure.
being more present in your real life.
Right. And speaking of being present,
Yeah.
we were talking about misinformation,
Oh, yes.
and how social media can be like a breeding ground for all that stuff.
Exactly.
Fake news, conspiracy theories, all that.
So another crucial tip
Okay.
is to verify before you share anything online.
Okay.
It's so easy to hit retweet or share without really thinking about the source.
I'm so guilty of that.
We all are.
A headline just catches your eye and it like aligns with your beliefs and you're just like, boom, send.
We all have a responsibility to be discerning consumers of information,
Okay.
especially online.
Yeah, that's true.
Look for credible sources.
Right.
Check multiple perspectives.
Sure.
Be wary of anything that seems too sensational to be true.
All right. So think before you share.
Think before you share.
Like that needs to be on a billboard.
I know, right?
Okay. So we've talked about curating our feeds.
Yes.
Setting boundaries.
Yes.
Verifying before we share.
Yes.
Okay. What else? What's next?
Engage meaningfully.
Okay.
It's so easy to passively consume content.
Totally. I'm like the queen of lerping.
Just scrolling and liking without really contributing.
Yeah.
But think about the power of a thoughtful comment,
Okay.
a genuine compliment,
Right.
or even a simple emoji reaction
Right.
that shows you're paying attention.
Oh, okay. So it's more about like actively participating.
Yeah.
Instead of just being expecting.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about moving beyond the superficial,
Right.
finding those genuine interactions
Yeah.
that make social media worthwhile.
Okay, I like that. And speaking of genuine interactions,
Yes.
we can't forget about kids.
The younger generation.
Yeah, they're growing up immersed in all of this.
It's all they know.
I know, and it just seems so overwhelming for them.
It is. And that's why it's so important for parents to have conversations with their children
Okay.
about online safety and digital well-being.
So like what kind of things should they be talking about with their kids?
It starts with setting expectations around the screen time,
Okay.
just like we talked about for ourselves.
Right. Setting those boundaries.
Setting boundaries, no phones at the dinner table,
Right.
designated text-free times,
Right.
make sure devices are out of bedrooms at night,
Right.
creating healthy habits
Yeah.
from a young age.
Totally. But it's not just about the rules.
No.
Right. It's about having those deeper conversations.
Deeper conversations, yeah.
About the potential pitfalls of social media.
Right? Talk about cyberbullying.
Right.
The dangers of sharing personal information.
Yeah.
And the importance of being kind and respectful online.
It's like social etiquette, but for the online world.
Exactly. And one of the most important messages
Okay.
is that their worth is not defined
Right.
by the number of likes or followers they have.
That's so important.
So crucial.
Yeah, because it's so easy to get caught up in that numbers game.
Totally.
But real value comes from within,
Absolutely.
not from external validation.
You got it.
Right.
It's about fostering their self-esteem.
Yeah.
And helping them understand that real life happens offline.
Right.
In the real world.
Yeah.
Not on social media.
I love that. Okay, so to recap, we've got like a whole toolkit here.
We do.
Curate your feed, set boundaries, verify before you share,
Yes.
engage meaningfully, have those open and honest conversations with your kids.
I think we did good.
I think so too. This is great advice.
Yeah. And remember, social media is a tool.
Okay.
We can choose to use it in a way that enhances our life or let it control us.
Right.
The choice is ours.
I like that. Okay, so now on the final part of our deep dive, we're going to zoom out even further.
Okay.
And look at the broader impact of social media.
On society as a whole.
Yeah, so join us for the final part of our journey. All right, so welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the world of social media.
So, we've been talking about how social media affects us, like personally.
Right.
But now let's zoom out.
Okay.
Look at the bigger picture.
Like how social media is shaping society as a whole.
Yeah.
It's like so woven into everything these days.
It really is it become this powerful force.
Yeah.
Shaping our culture, our politics, even our sense of self in ways that we're just starting to understand.
And it's interesting because we talked about before how it can both connect us and divide us.
Yeah.
It's like this double-edged sword.
It is a great analogy.
Yeah.
On the one hand, it have this incredible ability to connect people
Right.
across geographical boundaries.
Yeah.
Find communities of like-minded individuals.
Yeah.
Share our experiences, learn from each other.
Yeah, like those online support groups.
Yes.
People dealing with like rare illnesses.
Exactly.
Or like I'm in these Facebook groups
Yeah.
where people are swapping gardening tips or recipes.
I love that.
I know, it's so cool.
It's amazing to see those connections form.
It is. But then on the flip side,
Yes.
social media can create these echo chambers.
Yes.
Where we're only exposed to information that confirms our beliefs.
Exactly.
And it's like we're surrounded by people who already agree with us.
Right.
And then it's like, how do we actually have
Constructive dialogue
Yeah.
with those who hold different perspectives.
it's like everyone's retreating into their own little tribe.
Yes.
And the line between those tribes are just getting
Painted.
deeper and deeper. Yeah.
We see this play out in politics all the time.
Oh my gosh.
Social media has become a battleground for political discourse.
Right.
Where opinions are amplified.
Yeah.
And those nuanced conversations are drowned out by the loudest voices.
And those algorithms that drive those platforms, they're not really helping.
No, they're not.
They're just
They're designed to keep us engaged,
Right.
which often means prioritizing content that triggers a strong emotional response,
Right.
like outrage, fear, excitement.
So it's not about facts. It's about
Not always.
emotions.
Right. And the problem is that kind of content spreads faster than nuanced, fact-based information.
Which brings us back to misinformation.
Yes.
Which, spreads like wildfire online.
It does.
And has real world consequences.
We've seen how it can impact elections,
Right.
erode trust in institutions,
Yeah.
even lead to violence and unrest,
So it's a serious threat.
a serious threat to our collective well-being.
Okay, so what can we do?
Well, it's a complex challenge,
Yeah.
but I think there's reason for hope.
Okay.
One of the most important things we can do is invest in media literacy education.
So you mean teaching people how to evaluate information online?
Yes. Critically evaluate information.
Okay.
Distinguish fact from fiction.
Fact check, essentially.
Exactly. We need to equip people with the skills to navigate this complex information landscape,
Okay.
be discerning consumers of information,
Yeah.
recognize that signs of manipulation
Right.
and propaganda.
That sounds like something that everyone needs,
They do.
not just kids.
It's an ongoing process. It's
Right?
about questioning,
Right.
verifying,
Yeah.
being aware of our own biases.
So it's not just about individual responsibility, like
Right.
social media companies, they have a role to play too.
They absolutely do. They have a responsibility to address the spread of misinformation
Okay.
on their platform.
So what can they do?
Well, they need to be more transparent about how their algorithms work,
Okay.
invest in better content moderation systems,
Right.
and promoting credible sources of information.
So it sounds like we're asking for more accountability from these tech giants.
We are.
Yeah,
And these platforms have become so powerful.
they really have.
And with that power comes responsibility
Right.
to use it ethically
Yeah.
for the greater good.
So it's a tricky thing,
It is.
to balance freedom of expression
Yes.
with, protecting people from harm.
It's an ongoing conversation.
It is, and it's a conversation that needs to involve everyone.
It does. Policymakers, tech experts, educators, the public.
Right, we all need to be a part of it.
We all need to be part of it.
So as we wrap up our deep dive here,
Yes.
what's the key takeaway?
I think the key takeaway is that social media is this powerful tool
Yeah,
that can be used for good or for ill.
right?
It can connect us, inform us, empower us.
But it can also divide us, mislead us, exploit us.
Exactly.
So it's really up to us
Yes.
to be mindful of how we use it
Absolutely.
and make choices that align with our values.
Make choices that align with your values and your goals. So
So be aware of the potential pitfalls,
yes,
but also recognize the opportunities.
there are plenty of them.
Right. It's about using our voices responsibly,
Yes.
engaging critically with information.
And building a digital world that reflects the best of humanity.
I love that. So as we sign off here,
Yes.
let's encourage our listeners to take a moment
Yes.
to reflect on their own relationship with social media.
Ask yourself, is it serving me?
Yeah.
Is it helping me connect, to learn, to grow?
Is it stressing me out?
Is it fueling insecurities, distracting me from what truly matters?
Yeah, it's all about finding that balance.
Finding that sweet spot,
where social media is actually enhancing our lives.
not diminishing them.
And remembering that the most meaningful connections,
Yes.
the most enriching experiences
Often happen offline.
happen offline in the real world.
In the real world.
So go explore, connect,
Yes.
make the most of this life.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of social media.
It was a pleasure.
We hope you found it insightful.
And empower.
Yeah, and keep the conversation going.
Share your thoughts.
Be active participants in shaping the future of this digital world.
Absolutely.
Until next time, stay curious.
Stay connected.
Stay true to yourselves.